This week on the Island Times News Update, Atlantic Beach passes its human rights ordinance. Jacksonville Beach residents are likely to see a property tax cut, and Mayport gets set to welcome 2 new ships. Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. More than 100 people packed the Atlantic Beach Commission chambers Monday night for the final vote on the Human Rights Ordinance. Notably absent from the meeting was Commissioner Jimmy Hill, who has been a consistent opponent of the ordinance. Hill said in an email to the Commission that he had a transportation problem and would be unable to attend the meeting. Of the 110 public comments on the ordinance Monday night, 80 were in favor of its passage. While there were many people from outside Atlantic Beach speaking at the meeting, the majority were residents of the community. Several residents wanted to have the HRO placed on the ballot to allow the city's voters to decide whether it should become law. Among them was Atlantic Beach resident Raphael Usher, who likened the HRO to the struggle for civil rights back in the 1960s.
But I'm going to ask you to do something that you should do, that we earn the right to do as black people, is give the people a chance to vote. Don't do the job of the people. What are we afraid of? Are you afraid that the vote might be pro or con? Good. If the vote is pro, we will follow. If the vote is con, we will follow. But let the people make that decision.
But Atlantic Beach resident Don O'Connor said the people had elected the members of the commission to provide leadership on issues like the HRO, and that members of the LGBT community were asking the members for their help.
Lucky for you that you don't have to, that you've been given the rights. And you know, rights, we shouldn't have to ask for rights and protection. But here we stand before you, and we appreciate the work you've done and the consideration, and we thank you.
Mayor Carolyn Woods publicly questioned the absence of Commissioner Hill, who said in his email that he had language to propose that would make the HRO more acceptable to him. During discussion of a motion to defer the vote, Mayor Woods said that Commissioner Hill's opposition to the HRO is well known, but he had not offered any specific changes to the HRO.
Mr. Hill has shown commitment only to avoidance. The fact that he brought it up at the meeting, was not specific about anything, still totally unspecific. None of you have any idea what it's about. He's had 2 weeks since then to speak to council about it. Council says there was no specific language, no specific anything. Mr. Hill says he has something that he knows about, that he wants to share, but he doesn't share. I have to question, as does Commissioner Moore, the motivation. I have to say, at this point, I think it's more prudent for the city to move ahead.
Commissioner Maria Mark also strongly opposed deferring the vote.
To defer this vote simply because Commissioner Hill is not here, knowing that he is not a supporter of this ordinance, would just give it undue delay. So I cannot support deferring this ordinance. If we pass the ordinance, and as the speaker said earlier tonight, we can always amend the ordinance if we find out that it needs to be tweaked. There's nothing that prevents us from doing that.
The commission passed the ordinance unanimously, with Commissioner Jonathan Doherty saying that the only reason he was voting for it was so that it could be brought up for reconsideration at a future workshop. However, 2 other commissioners would have to agree to reopen the debate. There's also still an effort underway to collect enough signatures among Atlantic Beach residents to place the issue on the November ballot, but it's not clear if there is enough time for those signatures to be gathered and vetted before the election. The proposed budget for Jacksonville Beach would cut the millage rate by 2.4% and reduce revenue to the general fund by $178,874. In the budget document posted on the city's website by City Manager George Forbes, the city's total proposed budget is $153,900,833. The budget is 14% less than the current year's, And most of the decrease results from the expected completion of redevelopment projects budgeted in 2014 and decreases in energy costs. Forbes said that the budget would allow the city to continue offering the same level of service and provides funding for some longer-term public works projects. It also allows the city to hire a deputy city manager, a position that's been vacant since 2009, a building codes inspector, which has been vacant since 2010, and 3 other positions. Even with those additions, the document says the city will have 19 fewer full-time employees than it did in 2009. The group hoping to open a new entertainment venue and night spot in Jacksonville Beach will be back before the council with revised plans for Surfer, the bar. The group ran into stiff opposition for the mixed-use development planned for the current location of Mango's Bar on 1st Street at 6th Avenue North. According to a letter from Steve Diebenow, the attorney representing the developers before the city council, several aspects of the project have been revised in an effort to address concerns raised by the council and Jacksonville Beach residents. Diebenow said that nearly 1,000 square feet of usable space has been removed from the plan, primarily from the upstairs outdoor dining area. Diebenow also said the plan has 3 to 4 more parking spaces than are required by the code for a retail development, and total occupancy of the building will be limited to 375 persons rather than the approximately 860 allowed in the original site plan. Still, the revisions may not be enough to sway the members of the council who had concerns about the project or residents who are opposed. The Neptune Beach City Council will vote Monday on proposed changes to its sign ordinance after discussing the issue in a workshop. The city is up against a September 8th deadline to either approve the proposed changes, extend a deadline approved by the council 10 years ago, or require all businesses with non-conforming signs to have them replaced by that date. Councilman Scott Wiley introduced the changes that would eliminate the deadline from the sign ordinance passed in 2004. Wiley said the council should not require businesses to spend potentially tens of thousands of dollars to replace a serviceable sign simply to satisfy an arbitrary deadline. But Councilman John Jolly has said in previous meetings that eliminating the deadline is not fair to those businesses that have met the deadline for changes and complied with the law. When we come back, 2 new ships are headed to Naval Station Mayport. This is the Island Times News Update.
Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788. Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. Naval Station Mayport is getting set to welcome the 2 latest ships that will be homeported at the base. The USS Iwo Jima and USS Fort McHenry will arrive at the base on Sunday. The move will complete the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group homeport change in support of strategic dispersal and 2 viable East Coast surface ship homeports. ARG deployments have continued nonstop for decades, and a typical ARG has 2,000 sailors and 2,200 embarked Marines. The homeport change will also ensure the preservation of the Ship Repair Industrial Base in Mayport. The next North Beaches Art Walk will be held Thursday in the Beaches Town Center. The event is held on the 3rd Thursday of each month in the Neptune and Atlantic Beach area. Dozens of artists line the streets, and there are plenty of shopping and dining opportunities for visitors to Town Center. Author Randy Wayne White will be back at the Bookmark in Neptune Beach next Friday night. He'll talk about and sign copies of his new Hannah Smith novel, Haunted. White introduced his new heroine, a fishing boat captain who's inherited her late uncle's private investigation business, in 2012 with the book Gone. Smith now juggles her trade as a private eye along with a budding romantic relationship with Doc Ford. The Atlantic Beach Experimental Theater, or ABET, will hold auditions for the show One Man, Two Governors on Saturday, August 23rd from 1 to 4 p.m. and Sunday, August 24th from 3 to 6 p.m. There are roles for 6 men and 3 women of various ages in the cast. The audition will consist of a cold reading from the script. The show will run October 24th, 25th, and 31st, then November 1st, 2nd, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And this reminder that early voting is now open for the August 25th election. Here at the beach, the library is your early polling place. Don't forget to get out and vote. To help you make your decision, we've added some additional information to our voter guide. Visit www.theislandtimes.com and click on Voter Guide at the top of the page. The National Weather Service says the weather will be typical of mid-August for the next week. It's going to be warm and humid with a chance of daily afternoon thunderstorms. Highs will be in the upper 80s with lows in the mid-70s. The Island Times is always digital, always free at www.theislandtimes.com. Become a subscriber to make comments on stories on the site and to get updates on news from the beach's communities delivered right to your email box. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.